And we want to welcome Daryl Jamieson.
There he is.
You are.
Hey.
Daryl, Black Eagle Jamieson. Welcome to Moccasin Tracks.
Hey, nice to be back.
We're here. And also, I want to spin around the computer so you can say hi to Carolyn.
Hey, Carolyn. How you doing?
All right.
The gang here.
We got,
see ya.
Yes, the whole gang here. Yes. Thank you so much for joining us today. And we read a little description. We've been playing the medicine singers, and gosh, it's so cool to hear your music. Every time I hear it,
Yeah.
It's great.
New stuff coming.
Yeah, you always got stuff coming.
Yeah, you're a busy guy. You are.
I got to keep everything live,
That's the word on the street, too.
That's
the word on the street.
That's coming.
Keeping it live. All right. Daryl Jamieson, tell us what you've been up to. You got the Land Trust, you got public hearings.
Wow.
Give us a little summary of just this past week, even.
So there's some property that's on the line of Rhode Island and Massachusetts, so Woonsocket and Bellingham, Massachusetts. And there's a big developer coming in that wants to put in 1,500 units in this totally residential area. And they're gonna lose some pristine land over there. There's actually a lot of wildlife. There's bobcats, there's bears over there, there's rabbits, there's migratory birds that come through there. And I don't know if you saw the video that I posted. There's also an ancient stagecoach trail over there that actually went from Woonsocket, Rhode Island, all the way to Framingham, Massachusetts.
Wow, yeah.
So there's serious history. And on top of that, it was the lands called Moccasin, which was east of the Blackstone River, that in 1661, Wamsutta, Massasoit's son, King Philip's brother, put aside that land for the Pokanoket people. And it was actually a really huge tract, like 26-mile tract, that went from Massachusetts through Holbrook, Cumberland, Rhode Island, Central Falls, Lincoln, and that whole area encompassed lands that they wanted to reserve for the Pokanoket people to sojourn on, to fish on, to hunt and everything. And of course, like everything else, the colonists never abided by it, but it's still an official deed.
Mm-hmm.
That could actually be enforced. It was registered at Plymouth County Deeds in Massachusetts. And now that they're trying to build on it, I was called by a fellow friend of mine who's in the Blackstone Historical Society, and he asked me to come look at it. He felt that it had some native stuff on it. And So I got there and I met his friend, who's a 75-year-old Vietnam veteran, uh, who's took me out to look at the site. And so when I got to the site, the first thing I saw was a burial mound, and there were quahog shells all around it, some old, some new. So, I mean, that was the first indication that somebody's buried there. And then we walked around, we found some pointed objects, projectile objects, and things that were around the same area. And then there was some stone effigies. One was like in a turtle's head and stuff, all in this like area right on the line of Woonsocket and everything, which lines up with that land called Pokanoket. So I made a short video on it of some of the things that I had found, and then I was asked if I would come in and appear to the meeting. The first one I couldn't make; it was just too late. But the second one, I got to go, and I told them, I said, "You're not going to touch that land. These are our people's burial grounds, and we definitely need to talk, because if we don't, then it's going to be a real big issue for you. Because we're not going to allow this land to be developed and ruined and trashed, and take all those effigies down and people's burials. You're not remanding them any place. They're going to stay where they are, basically." And at this point, that was at the public hearing that I spoke. We're going to the next step. A lot of all the townspeople that were there don't want this there. And then when they found out that it was native land, it was even stronger reason not to be building on it.
Beautiful.
The majority of the people in that area, it's a rural town. It's kind of like a little less than Littleton, but it's a rural town, and no, they don't have any buildings like that in there. These people want to put in five level high buildings, and it's supposed to be a 55 plus, but there's no way of guaranteeing that either. But where they wanted to put the roads and everything were already dangerous intersections and everything. I mean, everything that is about this development is bad. And I certainly don't want to see, our people's stuff desecrated, and bones being illegally dug up and moved or whatever, and the wildlife and everything down there. This area it's a beautiful area. So I want to fight to keep this place from being developed. I don't know about me obviously I'm not going to be able to stop the whole project, but those lands, those important places, they need to be preserved. Absolutely.
Yeah. It's amazing what's going on all over the place.
It is. I mean, it seems like every way you turn, it's something new, and the worst thing is it's always about money. They don't care about the people. They don't care about who they impact, and it's not just the native people. It's it's the regular common citizen that goes to work every day, who's worked his whole life, or he or she's worked their whole life to be in a nice, pristine place out in the country, and then all of a sudden you're building a mini city there. Their school systems can't, and public services can't even handle it. Like an immediate influxion of all these people. So it's just, the whole idea is absolutely, utterly ridiculous. And I'm hoping,
and then you have the water too.
Yeah, the water. That's a whole other thing. There's water over there too. There's a small pond there and everything, and no regard. So the people in Woonsocket that are on this line, they're going to almost build it right up to where their houses are. So they bought those houses. They had this big, huge buffer, and it used to be a golf course. And the golf course, of course, didn't really interfere with the woods or anything. And now this project is bigger than what it was initially going to be. So it's a huge, huge contention with the people. The people, the native people. Not all the natives know about it yet, but they're going to find out pretty shortly.
Yeah.
Trying to get the word out to the other tribes, and we need to stop this nonsense.
I love that the historical research has happened and that, some of the historians are going back and doing the research and finding these land deeds that actually name the tribes and give the tribes the land. We need to honor that. It's so beautiful that the historians have come forward with this information. And it was so written down in that area. In a lot of areas in Vermont or New Hampshire is not as clear, but these deeds are were written down so early on in Massachusetts and Rhode Island and other places in New England. So there you have it, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, a lot of people don't even understand the dynamics, the historical content of it. Vermont and New Hampshire and Maine were all under Massachusetts Bay Authority.
Yes, yes.
So
Mm-hmm.
there was a treaty in 1725, the Mass Bay Treaties, and they included all the natives from Micmac all the way down to here, the right to go back to their lands, to keep their lands, to live on their lands,
Mm-hmm.
to hunt, fish, gather like they did, prior to the wars and even King Philip's War. So the Mi'kmaq were down there. They in Boston when this was signed, and only remnants of our tribes were left. A lot of us had gone and fought in the wars up in New Hampshire and Vermont and
Mm-hmm.
Maine,
Mm-hmm.
and to escape, the colonists and everything. So, we were always still alive. Just that they tried to wipe all of us out, especially the Pokanoket Nation, which everybody calls the Wampanoags now.
Mm-hmm.
But back then it was Pokanoket Nation of King Philip's people, So all those deeds are still, recorded, and they're
Mm-hmm.
still, most of them are probably in Massachusetts until, each of the states, became their own, but still those deeds are still good all the way up there.
Mm-hmm.
And we all fought together. That's why I don't understand sometimes the disunity between the tribes. We all fought with each other back in those days to cleanse the area of all the issues that were going on. And it was all about people just wanting to live in peace and live on their lands and not be molested. That's all it was.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all it is today.
Yeah, yeah. People just want to be in peace with each other and with the land. And there's such a respect that your community and tribe nation has for the land and the way they have stewarded the land. And I think those are the lessons that need to be carried forward. You also have testified and, about some of the hunting and regulations that are happening in the state legislatures to, that's part of a lifestyle as well. And I was wondering if you want to speak a little bit to hunting, fishing, being able to have what you need to, follow through with those traditions.
Yeah. So some of the local things right here in Rhode Island right now is, they're trying to take away the Second Amendment rights,
Mm-hmm.
and I think a lot of people don't understand the dynamics of what's going to happen if that goes through. I mean, this legislation includes shotguns, pistols, semi-automatic shotgun if this goes through is now banned. You can't even hunt with it. Okay, so all these people that have these weapons either have to go in and they have to register them, which is illegal in Rhode Island. The Rhode Island Constitution says that there are no gun registries allowed, period. And they've ratified the Second Amendment rights, just the right for citizens to keep and bear arms. So I went to the last couple. I've been doing it for a long time because Native people hunt.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we use guns today. I mean, we still use bow and arrows, but a lot of us use guns and stuff. So if they take that right away, you're going to either be turning your stuff in, or you're going to have to be enumerized by registration and everything. And anybody from the date of June, I think it was 2026, I think it was June or January 1st. After that, you become an immediate felon if you have those guns in your possession, and you're going to jail.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So
yeah. And it's now going to the Senate. We're hoping that it's going to stop, because it's going to affect a lot of, it's going to affect a lot of Native people, but it's going to affect a lot of people in this state. And then all the other, some of these other states might try to follow suit if they pass this, even though it's illegal. So, those are some of the things that, I've been fighting for. And actually, Jim Taylor from the Ulna Abenakis, he's down here in Rhode Island. We were both together the other week when they had the hearing at the House. So, it affects everybody. It's going to affect you guys, everybody. It's really sad, and Massachusetts is one of the states that still recognizes the hunting and fishing treaty rights of the Native people, the tribe. In Massachusetts, I sat on a subcommittee years ago with two other Native people from the Wampanoag Nation, and we actually ratified it again to make sure that everything was on the up and up, and everybody, the Department of Environmental Management, the attorney for the Fish and Wildlife, all agreed that there's still, the rights are still with the Native tribes. All those Native tribes under this Article 126, all tribes in the Commonwealth were recognized by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. So you hear all these stories from different people that, there's no recognition in Massachusetts. It's clear it was done by the legislation. And a lot of the tribes were recognized by legislation years ago. My particular tribe was recognized because of we had the dealing with the reservation, and then the General Assembly came in and designated that the Pocasset Wampanoag Tribe was to get back 229 acres of land in the Freetown State Forest. And that was passed as law. And they were actually supposed to resupply 12 houses that were burned down on our original reservation to make way for the water authority over there. And since then, this has never been done, and other people have come to take that land and to do things with it. And our tribe still sits there, all of the clans, with nothing over there. No houses, no museum, all the things they promised. And it was all done in 1939, and still here it is, 2025.
Wow. Yeah.
And it hasn't been executed. No houses have been supplied. It's the same old song and dance.
And it happens, too frequently across Indian country. I was reminded when you talked about, hunting and fishing rights and recognizing treaties. And some years ago, there was quite a bit of hubbub with natives hunting whales or seals, or a traditional way of their life, and and being arrested, taking it through the courts. And this is the kind of thing that what you're talking about. It's like traditions and stewardship, and these things that we need to bring to people's attention and respect this way of life, because it's a beautiful way of life, and it keeps things in balance.
It does. It really does.
And it's our responsibility, I think, to help with that balance right now with everything that's going on. I think, I
mean, that's what our land trust is trying to do, is to acquire lands and make them, available for tribal members to use and enjoy, and be able to go. The recent one that we got at Supper Brook at Tiverton is going to be just that. It's going to be a place that tribal members can hunt and fish and things over there, and have a right to go in there and be on land that was traditionally ours anyways.
Yeah, yeah.
And we're gonna eventually after it's a big swamp, so it's a lot of there's probably a lot of graves in there and everything that belong to the tribe.
Wow.
And so what we want to do, our mission, my mission, because I'm in charge of that property, is to go in there and create a series of trails, have native guides from our tribe take people, the public in on, guided tours, because that was one of the sites of King Philip's war battles over there. So it could be a substantial, great piece of history for this town of Tiverton, and also a preservation of wildlife and things in those swamps. And it'll be good for culturally for us to be able to have that extra land and go over there. Hopefully there'll be others. Yeah, we have Wayna Woods, which is one of our other clans, the Coffee Clan, Beaver Clan. They have 226 of it. I think it's 200. I may be wrong, but they have quite a bit of acreage over there. It's an original and native farm by the Cuffey family, Captain Cuffey, who was the one who was sailing African slaves and doing merchant things. He was taking African slaves back to Africa, and also he had a merchant shipping business that became quite large. And he is part of that family is part of the Pocasset Wampanoag Tribe as well. They're one of our clans that are in the Dartmouth Westport area in Massachusetts. So they're working on restoring that farm right now. And one of our clan chiefs over there, Rob Cox, he is doing a tremendous job clearing that out and repopulating it into the farm that it once was.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So I mean, we're doing tremendous stuff, the tribe and the land trust and everything. So, and it's all in the name of preserving and keeping the lands good. The lands that we once had, that we are still stewarding. And I think a lot of the people are happy because it's a buffer between, people building everything and ruining the towns, and people keeping the land pristine. So it's a good fix. Most people that I know are happy that we're in those towns and we're doing stuff, because that's one piece of property that they don't have to worry about getting built on.
Yeah. And I like that you're actually communicating with people of the town, because those kind of relationships moving forward are going to be essential. Yeah. We have to be working together, with the different tribes and nations, but also, to have the town recognize and be educated on, some of these things is really important. I wanted to ask you about, I see some of your posts. There are learning situations where you are providing education for the youth, for people to come and gather and share knowledge. And I think that that's an important aspect of the culture that you're sharing.
Thank you. Yeah, and part of that was the documentary that you guys are in. We just started screening this year, and
wow.
That's an educational piece, because it really shows all the the local tribes down here and up into your country, and that we all still communicate and do things together. So it's not as deep a bite into culture, but it's more of an awakening that all of you are still out there and everything. And so I'm hoping to get it up that way.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah.
Screen it up there. Of course, I have to make money because I got my own money into it.
Sure.
So.
Yeah, maybe we can have a showing somewhere here. That would be fun.
Great.
Yeah.
That's what we're looking to do.
And
and I love the unity. I thought that it would be a nice touch to have some of the Abenaki people into that too, because we all do a lot together.
Yeah. It always amazes me when the historians come forward with like maps or, just this information that they dig up in the town records in different places, and the tribes are mentioned. So Koki, Abenaki is something that we're, interested in, and we had a historian on the radio a couple weeks ago telling us about, these maps and also the trading and the trading posts that happened and the record keeping that these traders had shows the people bringing in the pelts, bringing in, and also wampum making, and we don't realize, that was going on steady.
Oh yeah.
And that just shows that, that the people were living their lives and with each other. And, um, it excites me to have everybody working together, that unity and what you mentioned.
Me too. I love
it's very
that.
healing,
It's like, we can all get along together. I mean, this
absolutely.
I see so much infighting and stuff in some of the tribes, and it's like not everybody does that.
Right.
That's what people have to be reminded. It's like, it's one thing to, politics and everything in tribes, but the actual people are the ones, the day-to-day people that go out, they go to powwows, they see each other. Doesn't matter what tribe they're from, they're all gathering and sharing and stuff, and that's kind of more like the stuff I want to see and promote, and make sure that, people understand that we were, I mean, yeah, we all fought over silly things, but for the most part, an Abenaki could come down to, Herring Pond or Pocasset, like, before, they came down during the time of the Pilgrims landing, and so it's like, oh, you look at that and you're like, oh yeah, we did have a great, relationship with Abenaki people, or Mohawks that came here, or everything, and they, it's important people understand, they carried wampum beads so that they were, they were known that their tribal people sent them down here. So I think all those things are important, and those are things that are still tried to be maintained today.
With everything going on, Daryl, with you and around you, are you finding any personal time for yourself to take care of your own self?
Well, I was just talking to my partner the other day, and she's like, oh my God. She goes, I don't know how you do all this stuff. And, you got to take some time for yourself and stuff. So I am, I had one of my boats at my friend's house who I go fishing with. It's a small boat. And I went down, I picked it up the other week, and I re-registered it. And I said, you know what? I bought a trailer. I'm going to go out and go fishing.
Great.
Oh, good for you.
Great.
Yeah.
I worry about you because I see all your posts and I'm like,
my
gosh.
I do get stressed out and I get tired.
Yeah, I see that. And
I'm 65. I'm not 20 anymore. I think I am.
You're still a corn nubbin.
I mean, we filmed a music video last night. I got up this morning. I'm like, oh my God, I'm tired.
Wow. Yeah. You work hard, and you have so much creative energy. And I know what that's like when it's.
Well, I was just going to say, like you, I'm watching all your posts and all the pictures. And by the way, I like the one of me that you did.
Oh, there'll be more.
Okay. I'm due for a trip up there for that.
Nice. Wait till you see the comic book.
Oh my God! It's always great to be out here with you guys. And talk.
Yeah, we've missed you.
And I got new music coming too.
Excellent.
I met T-Bone Burnett last year, and actually, myself and Jonathan Gatt, we flew to his house to talk to him and everything, and met his lead guitarist and stuff. And so this year when we were in Canada, we ran into Colin Linden, who's his lead guitarist, and Jonathan invited him on stage with us to do Rumble. And if you can imagine, we had Lee Ronaldo from Sonic Youth, and here comes Colin Linden, one of the best blues guitarists they say right now in the area. And we had like this three-way thing going with Jonathan and them. They were going back and forth with leads from the guitar, so we had this blues type. I didn't want the song to end.
No.
It was just so powerful, and Rumble's powerful anyways. But we had a blast. We were at Hillside Festival in Guelph. So the people were just perplexed because they're like, wow, look at all these heavy hitters out here. And we're on the drum, so it was like it was a great thing. And so when I am introducing a song that I wrote years ago for my daughter, it's in our language, and it's called Peace Guasso. And so Colin Linden has done the lead for it. He put the lead tracks in on the guitar, and Lee Ronaldo and Jonathan Gatt, first time ever, do an acoustic background.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah. And there's me singing on it, Adi Crippen, who just passed, and Mo Clark, who is a Métis indigenous to Canada, who is like really fantastic singer. We hit it off right away, and we're working on that right now.
Beautiful.
Time this year. So
wow.
Yeah, so that's going to be a powerful song. I'll get it up to you guys for the station as soon as.
All right.
Excellent.
So it's contemporary language, and I love it.
Yeah. It's so fun to see you inspired and continuing your music.
Thank you.
Yay.
I love it. And I love being on here with you guys.
Yeah. I really appreciate that. We talk about unity, and we talk about the things we have in common rather than, separating us. You have a way of bringing people together. So I appreciate that, and really love that about you and your family of musicians.
Yeah.
And Daryl, if you need somebody to dress in black leather and throw up on stage, I'm your man.
Okay.
Okay.
No. Yeah, those days are over, Rick.
Oh, you don't see me on Saturday nights, do you?
Did Rick tell you last time I was up? He got me going. He was doing the meat, and he brought me all the meat, and I was like, oh my God, I'm in heaven. They call me boy.
Oh my. Well, you got a lot going on. In closing, there's just well, we got a little bit of time here, 5 more minutes, but is there anything else that we haven't covered that you'd like our listeners to know about today, Daryl?
I think, the biggest thing is that I want to see the unity with the tribes back. I mean, we all need to, we all need to work together. We shouldn't be fighting, shouldn't be putting each other down and everything. And this one's not recognized, that one's not recognized. We're all of native blood. So it's like, I want to see the unity, and we need to work with the public too. I mean, when you have the public, respecting you and having, sympathy for what you're going through, it just makes it so much stronger. I mean, that's kind of what's going on right now with all these, I don't agree with the riot at all, but the riots, it's all these people that are standing up for other people. So the native people need that too. We need those people to come to our aid as well. And I mean, they're doing it. A lot of them are doing it. They're really behind. They've seen enough. Like, okay, the native people have been, treated horribly for years. it's time to correct some of those things, and you see more and more, of the non-natives coming out and supporting us. So I think that's, the biggest thing that I have to say is that, we need more of it. We need to work together and stop putting each other down and things. I think that's that's the biggest thing that I have to say. If I can achieve that in my lifetime, I'll be happy.
Oh, beautiful. That's a beautiful vision and a wonderful mission to be on.
Thank you.
We support you. We're in solidarity with you for sure.
And it's interesting. I mean, the Latin people are indigenous anyways.
Yeah.
They are.
It's like
they're the indigenous Indians.
right.
And a lot of them, I mean, if you think about it, California was Mexico. So a lot of them live there. I mean, so war, that whole thing just sickens me. It's just horrible.
Yeah.
And again, I don't agree with looting, bombing cars. I don't like to see any of that. People protest, that's fine. But some of the things that are going on, that's just that's out of control.
Yeah. We need to all stand together, with love in our hearts, and
we don't get anywhere when we bring it to violence.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, you got big work ahead of you, and we appreciate you taking this time to inform us a little bit of your work. So thank you.
You're welcome. I'll see you guys. I'll be up on the Scottish Highland Games too, so I'll check it.
Good. Yeah. And if you need an ear, I'm here for you anytime.
I appreciate that. Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Well, we look forward to seeing you again in person and, of course, having you back here on Moccasin Tracks.
All right. As we say in my language, Aquani, Ka, Nahanashak, Nakas Koetatium, Wakianak. Peace and farewell until we meet again.
Yes.
Thank
you for being on, Daryl.
You're welcome. You guys have a great day.
You too.
Right, you too. And Carolyn, you got a song for us?
Yes.
All right. We'll sign off for now, but until we meet again, adios.
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 The money won't change.